Hello and welcome to Good or Bad. With a new Arkham game releasing later this year, I thought it was about time to take a look at some of Batman's best and worst adventures to the big screen. But not all in one video, because that'd just be way too long. Anyway, Batman. Directed by Tim Burton and released in 1989, this movie overall did very well and thoroughly entertained most moviegoers, but certain aspects of the film were displeasing to the fans of the Batman comic books. Before this movie was released, many people argued that Michael Keaton just wasn't right for the role of Batman. Oh, how times change. I, however, think Keaton is the best live-action Batman to date. He looks cool in a suit, his voice, while not greatly different from his Bruce Wayne voice, does sound intimidating at times.
What are you? I'm Batman.
And more importantly, doesn't sound utterly ridiculous.
You never give it to an ordinary citizen.
One of the more interesting moves this movie makes is how much they tell us about Batman. He is shrouded in mystery for the majority of the film, but later in the movie they do tell us why he became Batman. You know the story, Bruce's parents got shot when he was younger and he witnessed it, so therefore he became Batman. But the movie doesn't really go into much detail on how he became Batman. But that's okay, because this isn't a full-blown origin story. All they were doing was just showing us why he became Batman. While we're on the subject of Bruce's parents getting shot, let's talk about the changes they made to that. They removed the original killer, Joe Chill, later to be seen in Batman Begins, and replaced him with a thug called Jack Napier, who many years later became the Joker. I've never liked this change because one of the things I always liked about Batman's origin story was because he was created by a meaningless purse snatcher that would never amount to anything, but at the same time helped create Batman. But by replacing Joe Chill with a younger version of the Joker, the killer would amount to something. He became the Joker, Batman's nemesis. But I do understand why they did this. The Joker is Batman's greatest enemy, and he became that because of many different stories told over the years. But a movie cannot do many different stories. It has to do one told in roughly 2 hours. So they needed a way to explain why the Joker was Batman's ultimate enemy. And here it is simply because he killed his parents, making him more than just a psychotic clown. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible for a movie to create a version of the Joker that becomes Batman's greatest enemy. The Dark Knight did a very good job of that without the personal connection of killing his parents. But I will go into that more another time. In this movie we get treated to Jack Nicholson's portrayal of the Clown Prince of Crime. And honestly, he steals the show. Nicholson gives us a fun but crazy version of the Joker. I would argue that his goals in this movie are crazier than Ledger's Joker was in The Dark Knight. I mean, he was out to prove something, but Nicholson's really just wanted to cause chaos in Gotham. After becoming the Joker by falling into a vat of chemicals, he murders Grayson, the crime boss of Gotham City, takes over his gang of thugs, throws a load of money away to lure a big enough crowd and gasses them. All while trying to initiate some twisted relationship with Vicki Vale, and of course, kill Batman. Ledger's Joker may have been downright scary, but Nicholson's was downright nuts. And here we have Bruce Wayne's love interest, Vicki Vale, played by Kim Basinger. Vicki Vale is a photojournalist who is very interested in Batman, who at this point in the movie is very new to Gotham. She meets Bruce Wayne at a charity event held at Wayne Manor and they hit it off, to the extent that Bruce wants to tell her he is Batman, but he just couldn't bring himself to say the words. Alfred knows that Bruce can never have a life with Vicki without her knowing the truth, so he takes it into his own hands and lets her into the Batcave. On one hand, you could say that this was a pretty stupid move because Alfred would never betray Batman's identity like that, which I can't really argue with, but on the other hand, you could say that Alfred was just as interested in seeing Bruce happy as he was in helping his crusade against the crime in Gotham. They talked a lot about this in the Dark Knight trilogy, but I think this one small action says more words than what was said in those movies. Now, how can I talk about this movie without talking about the designs and atmosphere? Everything looks great and oozes a dark and gothic atmosphere. From Gotham itself, to the Batsuit, Batwing, and of course the greatest live-action representation of a comic book vehicle ever, the Batmobile. It just looks brilliant. Not practical, but brilliant, which in my opinion is what matters the most. Okay, now it's time for me to talk about the thing that pissed so many comic book fans off. Batman kills. And I don't mean like Superman did in Man of Steel, where he was forced to kill someone to save a family's lives. This version of Batman shoots people, blows them up, and finally sends the Joker falling to his death. So yeah, not big on the old killing rule, are they? But it really doesn't bother me that much. I mean, if you don't fixate on the alterations to the Batman comic books, I think you'll have a blast of a time watching this. But I mean, really, who fixates on changes they made to comic books for the movie? That's just stupid.
Here he is in the comics. Here he is in the movie.
Yeah, but that's different, so
Can you see
shut
the
up.
difference?
It's dark, edgy, cool, humorous, and has great set designs. What else can I say? It's Batman. See you next time. Oh, and by the way, this theme tune is awesome.